In this video, I'll be sharing why most of the freelancers get stuck and what's the core reason behind it. I have completed my 4 years in this online journey and I have seen many freelancers doing the same mistake over and over again. And even if someone is having a really good skill set, they find it really difficult to onboard a client or pay the price that they deserve. And sometimes clients are really not that worth it, and they find it like even while having a really good skill set, they find it challenging to deal with just having a really good client. And if someone onboard a client, they find it really difficult to retain a client for a longer period of time. So why? What are some of the reasons behind it, and how you can deal with it better while onboarding any upcoming projects for the services that you deliver? So I'll be breaking down each things. So this video is gonna be slight boring, and I'll make sure that I'm going into each steps properly explaining about it. So next time, any project that you'll be discussing, you'll not be facing any trouble regarding this. So the first thing first is, and even if I talk about any freelancer's story, this is kind of a freelancer. And we see any service, if I include in that, like if I talk about any design service or ad service, or if I talk about any copy, it can be anything that you are providing right now. And the most, as like as someone try to get as much experience or learning so many fundamentals about it, we try to communicate in that language with someone, and we expect someone to understand that language that you have put your ears to understand about it. So let me explain. Every freelancer has like two kind of life. This is kind of very, this is a technical side of it, and there is a people side of it. So if I divide it into two parts, and this people side is this is kind of your front end. And if I talk about a technical side of it, this is kind of your back end. But where most of the people get wrong is they reverse it. They, whatever knowledge they have, they try to mix this technical language while putting themselves out in the market and while dealing with any kind of prospect leads that you are generating through your marketing. They go with this technical knowledge directly on the front end, and this people thing, they try to retain the client with their people skill and they mix it up. So when you flip it into just completely reverse, when you are if I give you any example, if you are into design, you might be talking about uh, typography or any visual element that you are getting. If you are into ads, you might be talking about heavily about ROAS, CPM, or any pixel tracking, any impressions, and like lookalike audience, interest targeting. You might be using these kind of terms very heavily when you are talking with any kind of leads that you are having a chat with. If you are into copy, you might be talking about any structure, any kind of hook that you are talking about. But most of the audience, if you are dealing with any B2B market, and who is like if you are a designer and your audience are also you work with the similar businesses, in that uh, perspective it's good. But if your audience is from other background, like if your audience are from real estate, uh, and if your audience are from any other, either it's a online business or e-com business, anything, then they will not be able to understand what are some of the terms. Like on a generic terms, they know that they are not getting enough sales. Their brand doesn't look like as they need to be present themselves in the market, or they are their average order value is not good. They are losing money. Their expenses are high. They are spending more money on marketing but not getting enough leads. They have built a website, but website is not converting well. They they know, they understand these kind of terms, but when we use these kind of terms and like so many technical things that we learn in our field from the various courses, it makes them more confused than before. And so on the front end, even so many freelancers, they have really good skill set. I have met many freelancers who have years of experience, but while dealing with the clients, they find it really difficult to understand their problem really well and onboard them. So on a front end, when you are dealing with the front end, next time when you are doing any marketing, putting down any content, so make sure you are putting up your people kind of. When I talk about people, I'm mainly talking about your stories. I'm mainly talking about the experiences that you are having, or previous that experiences that you had about business. Any you worked on any project, what kind of experience, how you like worked on any project, and what kind of outcome that you have driven, any personal story that you personally like, some of the habits. You can mix it up, you can present your stories, because in on the front end it's more about trust. Either this is more than the skills, I'm talking about more than the skills, it's more about trust. Either this person is trustworthy or not, either we can give project to this person or not. So trust is built with the help of stories, with the help of your experiences. When you combine them, and so that's where the trust is built. So when this will help you onboard more clients, but when you have onboarded a client, you are working on the project, then your technical side, and that whatever experience that you have, any design understanding, copy understanding, your ads strategy, and how you can scale, how you can increase ROAS, increase the sales, many things that will come over here, and this will help you retain a client for a longer period of time. Then this is the area where you need to be technical about your terms. But when you're actually on the front, this place is not to be about being technical. This is more about connecting with the people. So if I summarize this in a shorter term, this is where you need to connect with the people by just sharing your stories, sharing your experiences, and whatever experience working on any project, work dealing with any clients, any client experience, previous project experiences, or any personal side of the story that you want to share it. That's gonna be helping you on a front end. So anything, many times just I see posts from people that they talk heavily about any terms that they have read, or any terms related to their field. They put it directly on the front end, and people say, okay, there is now another person in the market who is providing a similar types of service. But that's not where this trust is getting built. Yeah, that's required, but that's only, I guess, I'll say 20% of the business on the front end. So if I just say in the 80%, it's 80% sharing the stories, experiences, 20% about your that about your technical background, that you are the person for that. On a back end, it's more 80% about being technical, and 20% it's about on a back end, it's going to be about your communication, how you give updates. So that's how it works on the back end. So if you flip it, how you deal with people, and the way you have been dealing with the people on the front end, and the way you have been dealing with the people on the back end, you just need to flip it up. And on a back end, the more technical you will be, the more you will be serious about delivering your project on time, keeping prior updates, communicating, keeping their business seriously, discussing technical terms. It will increase your retention period from minimum 6 to 12 months. So in that way you can do it. But on the front end, instead of talking about the jargon that you have been reading, if you just talk about uh, on a personal level about the stories, experiences, and only 20% about the technical thing, you can prepare a separate thing of that, because people need to be trusting you more that you are the right person for this particular role, and then your technical skill will come into place. So, if you have any question regarding that, in this perspective, that or you can try it in your next project, not being too technical on the front and being technical on the back end. So, any other field, it's gonna go deep, but on the front, it's more about the people.